Have you ever noticed how if you check yourself into a psych ward, they take away your cell phone? And the same is true if you go to a good meditation retreat or yoga retreat. There's probably something to that. Anyway, I have a high ACE score. And if you're lucky enough to not know what a high ACE score is, well, there's this thing called the Adverse Childhood Experiences Test, which is this 10-question tool to quickly tell how crappy your childhood is when it comes to trauma. Anything above 4 is considered high. This puts you at much greater risk for mental health struggles, relationship difficulties, chronic illnesses, substance abuse issues, lower educational attainment, increased rates of incarceration, lower income, etc., etc. All sorts of negative impacts. Living in dysfunction as a kid is weird. It's confusing. It's like this ain't it, but you don't know how to describe what's wrong or how to fix it. It's like when you're a kid and you have no reference point for what healthy, normal is supposed to be. So if you're living in toxic chaos, that's just your normal. At least that's the way it was for me. I knew something was wrong. I knew I didn't want to feel so angry and scared all the time, but I didn't know what to do about it. And I didn't have the vocabulary to describe what I was feeling, to even describe the problem. I didn't know what anxiety was or PTSD. And if you grew up with boomer parents, you know they weren't mental health aware. And that meant as a kid, you weren't either. Being kind of cerebral and trying to rationalize my way through all the things that I was going through, I set out to terraform my mind. I really believed that I could take control of all the negative feelings that I was having. I wanted to will my way out of the misery. But if you've ever tried that, you probably know that doesn't really work too well. So I started looking to people that I thought were calm and peaceful. I looked to the monks. In middle school, I started reading books by the Dalai Lama and Thich Nhat Hanh, books on Buddhism. I can't prove it, but I was probably the only kid in Oklahoma reading The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching on the school bus ride home. I read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance and pretty much anything else that I could get my hands on at the library or the bookstore. Heck, I even read Chuck Norris's book called The Secret Power Within. Thich Nhat Hanh's walking meditation made me want to try it. Any little technique that I could pick up from anywhere, I was into it. Self-hypnosis, visualization techniques, whatever I could find. So I learned meditation. I would practice on the school bus, laying in bed. I would practice walking meditation in the yard. On a nice day, I would climb up onto the roof of our house. I would find a nice flat spot to sit and just meditate in the breeze. Did this work? Not entirely. My negative feelings persisted, but I also persisted in my practice. And as the mental health struggles of childhood and adolescence gave way to the mental health struggles of adulthood, things actually got worse for a while. But still, I persisted in my practice. Fast forward a couple of decades later to the present day. Those negative feelings, they're still around somewhere. And if I'm having a particularly bad time, yeah, they can rear their head. For the most part, though, I'm not plagued by them. They're like, as Ram Dass calls them, they're my little schmooze that sometimes pop up. Now, am I saying that yoga cures everyone's trauma? No. Some people need therapy, some need medication, some need both. And I think those things can be life-changing. But I am saying this: if you spend your life trapped in fight or flight, constantly trying to think your way out of suffering, there's a good chance that you're trying to solve the problem with the wrong tool. For me, healing didn't start when I found better arguments. It started when I learned to be still, relax my body, and pay attention to my breath. And that's where I found a place of real yoga, a timeless place in here. Did you ever see the picture, or maybe even the video, of the monk self-immolating in protest in Vietnam in the 1960s? Did you ever wonder how he was able to do that? Perfectly calm, completely still. Like, where did he go? He was a human, like you, like me. Yet, he was able to find a place of peace, even as he was literally burning alive. I'm not saying that we need to go to that extreme, but maybe we can still find a small piece of that equanimity for ourselves. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching.